Yes.
Hello.
Well, not always. I try and be always. Yeah. And I've been playing none of those. No, I'm just joking. I did start Pokemon Violet. I don't know if maybe there's been updates or something I have no idea, but I'm playing on the launch Switch and I have had absolutely no issues whatsoever. The game looks exactly the way I thought it would look. I think I mentioned it in the group chat. Like some of the line work is kind of pixelated, but I don't think that's a glitch because that seems to be pretty uniform across the entire title. But no, I mean I like it. It's bright and colorful. That girl keeps chasing me around. It's weird, but it's just to go ahead. I went with Sprigatito. So
how could you know?
Yeah, went with Sprigatito. So yeah, I'm a little bit into that. I've not started God of War yet because that's for me, or probably for most people, that's pretty immersive experience. And there's been a lot of people at the house. Maddie's been out of school. Amanda with the delivery network thing, they're kind of lax more around the holidays, but she's about to be on the road again. So I will start that relatively soon. Aside from that, I finally, because the trailer for Hades 2 was at the Game Awards recently, and I never played Hades, so I picked up Hades. I picked up a lot of stuff. I picked up a lot of stuff for Switch. A lot of indie titles for Switch. And I've kind of dallied a little bit on those. And then I also picked up really, really late to the game, Godfall. It was for a really good deal. So I grabbed that. And I mean, it was a launch title for the PS5, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've only played maybe about an hour and a half into it. I don't know why that had such a poor response. I may just be in the minority. I mean, so far it doesn't feel like that bad of a game.
It wasn't like a terrible game. It just, I don't know. I don't know. There's like big open areas, but you can't like when you try to explore the open area, there's like no enemies because you're supposed to go on like a certain path.
Okay, I got you. I mean, I saw a little bit of that in that first temple. So, yeah. I will say the combat and stuff like that, there's no targeting system, and sometimes it can feel sluggish. It's not a very fast-paced combat system. So,
well, that's why it flopped. Everybody likes fast-paced combat.
And targeting. It feels weird when you play a game that feels like it should have targeting and it doesn't. It feels off. It really does.
Every game should just have Z targeting. What is this? Ocarina of Time paved the way for every game.
I don't. You can press down and do like a quick turn, but there's nothing where you can just even remotely, just for a second, just lock on, even if it just lines you up. Yeah, there's nothing like that. So, and sometimes you'll start a combo and they'll like go around and you're just like, oh, I gotta get turned around.
Anything else?
Um, Man, I'm probably leaving something out. I mean, of course, I've been playing Disney Dreamlight. I've been playing Fortnite.
Talk about the
Um,
Forspoken demo.
Mm.
you know what? All right, I'll talk about it. I cannot wait to play that a little bit later today. I've downloaded it. I have not, you guys scared me off, man. Y'all are like, oh, the combat's horrible.
No,
So I
I
don't
like
know.
the
I
combat.
can't.
So
I couldn't get behind the controls, which I know you can remap them, or they said you can remap them in the full game, but it's like this is just like super complicated for no reason. It was like,
And that's coming out soon, isn't that March?
no,
Mhm.
February, no, January.
What? Oh, okay, like a few weeks.
Hang on, I'm pretty sure that's in
I
January.
think it's next month. I think it's February.
January 24th.
Oh, it is this month.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but they said they're going to implement a patch to make you can remap the controls. But it's just kind of clunky, and like people were complaining about like the text and stuff, and I just don't like running around the world felt kind of cool, but like also being dropped there with no context, and you've already got these. I think that's part of it. Is like you already have access to all this magic right off the bat instead of it being slowly introduced to you. I think that's part of why it kind of got turned away from it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a demo. I
Yeah.
mean, you are supposed to be like kind of like a demo is supposed to make you feel like you've had some experience and you're not like at the beginning. So
I don't know. I kind of like demos when they like give you like let you play like the first hour or two to kind of help you get hooked into it.
yeah,
That's what happened with like when I was trying to play a Plague Tale. They had a demo out for like the first 2 hours of the game. And I got like as soon as that big thing happened at the very beginning of the game, I was like, "Nope, I'm buying it." Like I don't even need to play the rest of the demo. I'm just going straight in. Speaking of, I need to finish that. But anyway, all right, Chase. Let's hear about everything you've played in the past 3 weeks.
Played and completed.
Yeah. I played this really cool game called Arrowheart, which is heavily inspired and stylized by Link to the Past. It takes a lot of the ideas from Link to the Past and adds new ones. But I feel like the game overall just needed a lot of work. It falls short on giving you new abilities and teaching you how to use them. Like, say if you get it doesn't have like say look if you had a game where you had like a double jump ability and you fall into a pit, like you have to use double jump to get out. Like this game gives you abilities, but it doesn't like give you any like kind of like way to use them to to figure out what you're doing. So I kept having to go to like a guide to figure out what I was doing or where I was supposed to go. And I also ran into a really bad glitch where like if you had 2 keys and you go to a door and you accidentally spam the use button, it would use both keys on one door. And when you're in a dungeon, there's no way to get those other keys. But I did end up emailing the devs, and they told me a way to work around it. Unfortunately, the glitch happened to me a second time in like a later dungeon, but it wasn't a way that I could get a workaround. So I didn't end up finishing the game before it got patched. So but apparently the game is patched now, and that should not happen. So in order to me to beat this game, we'll have to play it again from scratch. But I mean, I thought it was a lot of fun. Like once I kind of got into it. But I'll pick it up again later and like try it again. Yeah, I did try out the Forspoken demo. Let's see. Yeah, I really like the traversal. I like the graphics. Yeah, I'm just like excited for it to play it when it comes out, and like kind of like what Mitch was saying, like play it from the beginning, get your abilities, and like learn what you're supposed to be doing, all that stuff. I played Goat Simulator 3, which was a ton of fun. If you thought the new Pokemon game was like glitchy and you wanted those glitches to happen to you, this is the game that you should be playing, because it's like I mean, there were so many crazy things that just happened in the game, just like all but it was so much fun. There's also tons of Easter eggs. Like there's like a Skyrim intro. There's like a Lord of the Rings quest. There's like a Star Wars quest. There's Fallout references, Wolfenstein, Dark Souls, Combat. Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Brothers, Silent Hill, PT, Persona. There's also like a bunch of like quests, and like there's this one quest where you have to it's like something about a moving quest. So you have to move all these pink boxes that are spread out in the area into this like garage. And so like you do all this work, and like I mean this is not a short quest. So you have to like find all these little pink boxes, and then like after you're done helping this person move all their boxes into the garage, they just pay you in pizza. And so pizza just magically like flies down from the sky, which I thought was funny.
Is pizza currency?
No, it's not.
Oh.
Which is funny because like if you ever help someone move, they they want to pay you in pizza kind of thing. So I thought that was kind of funny.
That's funny.
But they did there's multiplayer, so you can go and like wreak havoc with your friends. I think most places have this game right now for around like $20. So yeah, if you like fun, goofy games, this is a lot of fun.
What is it again? I'm sorry, somebody was
Goat Simulator 3.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to pick that up then because it's not me. My daughter is a huge Goat Simulator fan. So.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did play the Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, which is the prequel remake to the original Final Fantasy VII, which I'd never played before. I thought it was great. I really loved learning about the backstory behind like a lot of the events that happened in Final Fantasy VII. The jackpot mechanic for the combat took a little while to get used to, but like once I figured it out, like I thought it was really cool. I'm really excited for the new Final Fantasy.
I have a question about that.
Yeah,
because of something that I learned over Christmas, but it's possibly spoiler related.
Mm-hmm.
So without spoiling, or I'm going to attempt this. See, unfortunately the Final Fantasy remake is buried in my pile of shame right now. But I learned over the holidays that there is a character that is actually still alive that you learn is still alive at the end of the first part. And what? No, there's going to be no way to do this. I'm probably just about to give it away. So Crisis Core, is it a direct like port remake over, or is it reflective of the remake or the original?
So I never played the original version of Crisis Core. So what I've been told is a faithful remake of the original game.
Okay, so look, how long has the remake of Final Fantasy VII been out?
For like 5 years.
Okay, all right. So I was told that at the end you learn that Zack isn't dead.
I couldn't tell you. I never played it.
I can't tell. I can't tell you for sure because of the way the events of the game happen.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
But it does appear that way. But the way the events in the game happen, it could not. He could still be alive.
Okay, so that's kind of
kind of like one of those things because Final Fantasy is weird.
I really thought he was gonna say, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think Sephiroth's still alive. And I was like, didn't they show a trailer for part 2 where him and Cloud are like holding hands or something? So I was like, I don't think that's a spoiler.
And then I played Unpacking, which is a really cool like item management game. Like you start in a dorm room and then you move to an apartment and you have and then you move to like a bigger apartment where you have shared stuff with like you got to organize with your roommate, and then you move into a house with your I guess your wife or husband. And it's really interesting because each time that you move, it says this day is happening for this event. So you're taking things that you had when you were younger, and then you're bringing them along with you, and some of the things change as you go in time, some of the technology that from the I guess 80s you wouldn't be buying in early 2000s. So I thought it was really, really cool. And then just how smoothly everything just works together. It's really cool, and it's not like a very long game, so very relaxing, highly recommended. And then I played Demon Turf, which is like a 3D platformer, but something about it just didn't feel great to me. It's a lot of fun. There are definitely things that could use improvement. One of the things that bugged me out was some of the levels, all of the level has the same color. There's a lava level, and the ground is red, the lava is red, the fog is red, the platforms are red. I'm like, it's like a red ball being shot at me, and I can't see it because everything's red. So that was like one of the things that kind of like threw me off on it. But like, just the platform itself just did not feel like overall great. But it was cool. I did like the fact that you could like set your own checkpoints. Like you could get to a part and then like just throw down like a little flag and you could start a checkpoint from there. Let's see. And then yeah, once you beat a boss, there's like an inverted kind of like level where it's like they rearranged the level and you can play it like a different way. Let's see. The boss fights did feel really really good. The game does have a lot of other stuff to do inside it. Like there's like a soccer style thing that you can do. There's like arenas, like all kinds of little stuff you can do extra. But yeah, it's got like collectibles. So if that's your thing, if that's what you want to like to play, yeah, definitely check it out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the first 2 weeks. But I'll talk about next week, or that last week, this next week.
Okay, cool. My list nowhere near as long as usual. I bought a bunch of games on Steam because they were on sale. And I found my new favorite game. It's called Inscription. It is a deck building roguelike game. Kind of like Slay the Spire, but also not like Slay the Spire. Very dark and twisted and kind of spooky kind of game. Been having a lot of fun with that. I bought 7 Days to Die, which is like a survival. What did we call it? It's kind of like a State of Decay meets Minecraft kind of game. I haven't played it a lot, but what I have played has been pretty fun. Like all of my friends like kind of got into a server together and we were trying to meet up and we all met up at this hospital thinking that was like the best place to get started. And then it was just completely overrun by zombies and like we all just died, or most of us died like immediately. It was great fun. What else have
you said this was on Steam?
Yep. It was
what was it called?
7 Days to Die.
Oh, I've been done having that.
Well, play Inscription. If you like Slay the Spire, you need to play Inscription.
Yeah, I've seen Inscription. I think I got it on a couple of wish lists. But yeah, 7 Days to Die. I've played that for a while now. Definitely play it on PC, not console.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't really think of anything else that I've really been playing other than like my usual like Smash, Mario Kart, all that stuff. Or if I can't, what'll happen is we'll get about 3/4 of the way through this show and I'll go, haha, I remembered something that I've been playing. And that's what usually ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could say I have been playing more God of War, but I've kind of just like not been in the mood for playing console games here lately. I've been doing a lot of like drawing and stuff like that, so I haven't really been gaming as much. But we are going to quickly go through. I'm not going to go through all of the awards here. I will post the results and everything in our Facebook group, but I do want to touch on a couple of the community awards for different game of the year stuff from our the polls that we did. Starting with the easiest one, which was the PlayStation Game of the Year 2022, because there was no competition whatsoever. Obviously, that went to God of War Ragnarok, to no one's surprise. Xbox Game of the Year. Oh, there it is. I remember what it was. High on Life. I played High on Life. I just had to look at it on a list. Yeah, I haven't beaten High on Life. That game is super fun and it is super funny too. It like opens up with like makes you think you're playing some like old school Doom game, and it's like your player playing a Doom game on his computer, and it's like all the characters, everything is still voiced by Justin Roiland and shit, and it's, oh my god, it's so funny. Like the opening 15-20 minutes of that game like it's superb, like top notch. So if you have an Xbox or you have Game Pass, you need to play, at least give it a try. Even if you don't like first person shooters, you need to give it a try. Okay, anyway, yeah, High on Life Xbox Game of the Year. Nintendo Game of the Year actually was a tie between Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Pokemon Legends Arceus. So there's that. And then overall Game of the Year, Elden Ring. So I know some people were really disappointed that Xenoblade Chronicles wasn't going to win anything, and those people are going to stay disappointed. You know who you are. And then the other one, again, to no one's like surprise, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, most anticipated game of 2023. Slowly, or it was almost overtaken by Hogwarts Legacy. So I just imagine those people just don't have any kind of Nintendo console, so they have no reason to vote for Zelda. It's just where we're at with it. And then kind of had like on the notes again, these notes were put into place like 2 weeks ago, but kind of like I wanted to talk about like what our favorite games of last year were. So I kind of put it up at like top 3 games that you played. Chase, we'll kind of go, we'll start with you. We'll kind of go like one at a time. So like give one, Richard gives one, I'll give one, kind of go in a circle like that. So I guess like your number 3 top favorite game that you played in 2022.
Number 3 for me would be Elden Ring.
Nice. Anything you want to say about your top 3 favorite game?
No, like I really enjoyed it. Like, I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was the game that I've definitely put the most hours into, but that's because I did 3 full playthroughs, to get the platinum trophy. But like, I mean, overall, there were other games that I really enjoyed more. But I am really excited for the more DLC content to play.
Yeah. Richard, your number 3.
My number 3 is Elden Ring as well.
There you go.
And it's amazing. The only thing I'll say about it is that if you have a critical opinion of it on Facebook, be ready. They come at you.
So my number 3 is kind of like I'm only putting this game at number 3 because I technically haven't finished it yet. And that is God of War Ragnarok. Because I know it'll be higher up on this list once I beat it. Yeah, boo boo. It'll be higher up on the list once I probably beat it. But from what I played right now, it's just more of 2018 God of War. So it's like not too different for me, I guess. But that's a hot take, I'm sure. Like I said, it'll probably go up higher, at least to know. Yeah, here he is over here. I see him.
I'm talking to somebody. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get.
Oh, I thought he was like bad mouthing you without actually saying something.
No. That's non-podcast related. I'm trying to minimize my background noise.
Oh, but anyway, it'll at least hit number 2 probably whenever I get done with it. But Chase, what is your number 2?
My number 2 was Horizon Forbidden West. So, but yeah, overall, like I think the game just vastly improved over everything from the first game. It's just a lot of fun. Great story. Yeah, and I'm very excited to see where they're taking it from here.
I really need to play that one. Still haven't gotten there yet, but Richard, your number 2.
My number 2 is gonna be wishy-washy, kind of like your number 3, because my number 2 is going to be God of War. Because aside from opening the case, that's about as far as I've gotten on it. And that's why it's number 2. Because here's the thing. Without even playing it, I know for a fact I'm going to enjoy it more than I did Elden Ring. Because as much of the elements that I enjoyed of Elden Ring, as I've said on Facebook and many columns where they've come at me, I didn't feel like I was playing or seeing anything that I hadn't seen before from a FromSoft game. It was almost like, what, we're going to do a best of mashup. And in all honesty, I like Sekiro and Bloodborne more than Elden Ring as far as like those titles go. So as of right now, number 2 is going to be God of War Ragnarok. And that may change places with number 1. It just depends, because number 1 I've played a great deal of. So
his number 1 is Death First Let It Die.
No.
I'm calling him now. Anyway.
That's that. Wait, no, there's a note for that. Hold on. Where's there? Yeah, worst game you've played this year. We'll talk about that later.
My number 2 is Pokemon Legends Arceus, just because it is everything I've ever wanted out of a Pokemon game. Like the new catching mechanics, the battle mechanics, even though it wasn't like a complete open world experience, it was still like as close as we were at the time thinking we were going to get. It didn't run like crap like Scarlet and Violet do, even without all the bugs or anything like that. I don't know, and it was just like, and it did a lot of things differently, so I was like really impressed by that. But yeah, number 2 go to the better Pokemon game that came out in 2022. And Chase, your number 1.
My number 1 was definitely God of War. It just overall improved everything from the first one. And story wise was incredible. There was so much like in the game that was just like I was not expecting. Like there was like I was watching some like developer, like commentary on it, and they were like, people expected this, so we didn't want to do this. We wanted to do something that that would kind of like turn the tables on things, and then looking back after you played it, there's a lot of things you didn't see on your first playthrough. So yeah, it just had like a lot of twists and turns that you're not going to expect. And then it just overall just such a beautiful game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Richard, what's your number 1?
My number 1 would be the sequel to oh wow, I almost said Breath of the Wild. We're not there yet.
No, that's next year.
Oh man, why am I it's old age is what it is. The Aloy game. Help me out.
Horizon Forbidden West.
Horizon Forbidden West is my number 1. I thought the motion capture of the faces and just the voice acting and everything, and that world is so crazy, and there's so many added twists that you wouldn't even think would be a part of that story that happened in the second one. That's amazing. It may swap places. It may drop down to 2 and God of War drop up to number 1. I don't know. They're in a wishy-washy area, but as it stands, I'm going to have to give it the top spot.
You guys remember sometime over a year ago where Richard was like really upset about Horizon because they messed with Aloy's face, and now it's his game of the year.
Well, it's so weird because I don't know. You see this with real people. You can take the most beautiful woman or the most handsome guy in the world, and you can take that photo that just makes them look like roadkill. And I think that was the problem, because I never saw that in the game. She never once looked bloated. So,
All right. My number, we're pretty much just sharing the same 3 games, and they're just in different orders here.
Yeah.
Because my number 1's Elden Ring, just because, like, to Richard's point, yeah, if you're someone who's been really big into these Souls games, this is probably nothing too major for you. But this is like the first time I've been able to get into one of these games. Yeah. And was actually enjoying it, was, cheering myself on whenever I'd finally beat a boss, which I don't like pop off on single player games ever. So for me to like freak out because I beat some gigantic skull nightmare demon, excuse me, was just like perfect. And first game I've ever platinumed on PlayStation across every PlayStation I've ever owned. So, yeah, I was very proud of myself. Chase does it all the time, makes it look like it's nothing. It was a big feat for me to spend that much time in one game. And like him, did 3 complete playthroughs of it. So I put like 160 hours into that game in like the span of a month. So,
you know what you should play next?
Bloodborne.
You should play Sekiro.
Okay. I tried playing Bloodborne right after I beat Elden Ring, and I could not figure out how to get out of the first area. If that makes sense. I don't know. I probably was just like burnt out.
Doctor's office?
I don't know. I might have to revisit it, and let's just put my camera up and go, Richard, help.
Should yeah. I mean, Bloodborne or Sekiro, they're both good. I said Sekiro because it's got such a completely different feel to it.
Okay. Well, I'll probably try. I own Demon Souls, the remake. I want to beat that next. That's one of the games I plan on beating this year, because I would love to. I have the game that turned me away from Dark Souls, which Richard's gonna go, that's the easiest one out of all of them, but it was Dark Souls 3. I bought that game the day it came out, took it home, played it for about probably about a week straight, and had issues with like one of the earlier bosses in the game because I just could not get the timing down for like countering moves and stuff, and I got mad and I returned it. So I have a desire to go back and beat Dark Souls 3 in particular, just because that game made me mad and I gotta show it what's up. All right, worst game you played last year, Chase?
Actually, I wrote down one and then I realized I had two. So there was this game on one of the PlayStation sales called Aliens, which is not related to any of the Alien franchise at all. It's just a game called Aliens. And I thought it was going to be like this little cool first-person shooter game. I think it was a first-person shooter game. I don't know. I just remember it being very, very terrible, and I never even finished it because it was so bad. The other game that I thought was pretty terrible that actually got even a physical release was Angry Alligator, and which was, I mean, it was okay, but it was just not great overall. Just could have been a lot better. Yeah, that was my two.
All right, Richard, the worst game you played last year?
It was the Deathverse game. They completely hosed up something that was beautiful and awesome. Did you guys ever play Let It Die?
I played a little bit.
You got like this weird little subway area, and that was kind of like the PvP. It was never like a direct PvP. You could train up people and give them special weapons and stuff like that to guard. And I thought that was cool. It was almost kind of like not really a tower defense, but that was the PvP aspect. But the core of the game was PvE, where you had to traverse this huge tower and you get materials to upgrade weapons that were just totally sick, and armor. And it was just, there was this weird story that was going on. There was bosses. There was a lot of elements at play all at one time. And for the sequel, they just copied Fortnite. And it was so damn disappointing because Fortnite already exists. And I don't understand why anyone would make a Fortnite clone, because everyone already has Fortnite. It's not, I don't think that's one of those games. And I think I said this before in an earlier podcast. If you're going to make something that's like the Fortnite formula, then to pull people away from that, because that's huge, it's going to have to be better than Fortnite. And I mean, I think they've already dug in too deep and done too much to pull that fan base away. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they devoted so much time and energy and resources into what was awesome just to make a mediocre Fortnite clone, easily worst game of the year for me.
Poor Deathverse.
Yeah, I hope it closes down this year sometime.
So I don't play, definitely as many games as you guys do. So my worst game of the year is not necessarily because it's like an awful game, but just out of everything I've played, just didn't meet expectations really. And I really thought about putting Pokemon Violet in this, but I've also put like probably close to 100 hours into that game. So if it was the worst game I've ever played, then I don't know why I'd put 100 hours into it. So my worst game is Dying Light 2, which sucks because that was my most anticipated game going into this past year. Well, other than Zelda, once Zelda got delayed, it was Dying Light 2. Because Dying Light 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. And Dying Light 2 is not like a horrible game or anything, but they just did too much to it. They did the branching storyline path, which just didn't work. There were a lot of issues like bugs and stuff whenever it first came out. A lot of features from the first game that were missing in the second game that they did add that stuff back in later, and I think it's after I finished it. But and the story just wasn't good. Like it was like, oh, you're just doing this, you're just running around, parkouring around and helping people, and then at the end it's like, oh, pick which ending you want to get. And I'm like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, once they start bringing more content and doing an expansion, I plan on going back to it. But just did not meet the expectations I had for it going into right before it released. I was really excited for that, and it may have also been because out of everything that came out at the beginning of last year, there was like 15 million open world games that dropped between like January and the end of February. And I mean, I had just finished Pokemon Legends, I just finished Elden Ring, and then Dying Light came out, or I played Dying Light, and it was like, maybe I'm just burnt out on open world games. Maybe that's just part of the problem. Because after I beat all three of those, I didn't touch another open world game until Pokemon came out. Because like if it's an open world, I don't want to touch it. So maybe I just need to go back and play it again. But it just didn't meet expectations. 2 more gaming ones. Best game you played that was not released in 2022. So a game you just discovered. Or you discovered and played it, but it wasn't released last year. Chase, you got one?
Yeah. So I wrote down. Let's see, real quick. Let's see. I played 162 games last year, and I completed 132 of those.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but of those that were not released this year, I wrote down 6 that I really, really enjoyed, and that was Lost in Random, Golf Club Wasteland, Ink and Fell, The Cruel King and the Great Hero, Amori, and Rainbow Billy and the Curse of the Leviathan. Like, I thought those all were really, really great games. So
I almost put Golf Club Wasteland for mine, but there's something else that I played that I was like, this is really good. But anyway, Richard, what about you?
Earlier in 2022, I finally played Loop Hero.
Oh yeah,
and that was, I've put so much time into that game. It's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more updates. That developer is in a precarious part of the world right now, so I don't know when they're coming. I do know they've just moved offices. They are active on Twitter, so they're still around. They're still working. I'm really looking forward to those updates. And then also, I guess because they're so different, and I love the first one so much, it's definitely in Richard's top 5 games of all time, which, as you guys know, is a lot more than 5 games. But Subnautica Below Zero. There's just something about Subnautica that's just, I don't know. And I've actually been thinking about going back and replaying the 1 and 2 again, just to experience that all over again. It's just beautiful. It's terrifying. It's interesting. They don't really spoon feed you the story. It's, you kind of go out and explore and make it your own. And it was an amazing experience. So yeah, I don't know if I'd put one above the other, because they're 2 totally different experiences, but I'm going to go with Loop Hero and Subnautica Below Zero.
Cool. I was going to do one, but everyone else is doing more than one. So it gives me a perfect opportunity to talk about 2 different games. Completely opposite ends of the spectrum, too. At the very beginning of last year, I experienced this nice little indie game that took about 3 hours to complete called Donut County. And that game is hilarious, and it's very simple, and it was like the perfect game to like start off the year with, because it was a perfect little indie game. And then I kind of brought it up earlier, but A Plague Tale Innocence, which is the first in the Plague Tale series, that game kind of like really roped me in at the very beginning of it, and I'm like really ashamed of myself that I haven't gone back to finish it. It is the story in it's really good, and I had every intention of beating that and then going directly into A Plague Tale Requiem, which came out last year, and I did not follow through with that whatsoever, and I'm really ashamed of myself. But maybe this will be the year I'll finish both of those, and then I'll go, what's your favorite game that you played in 2023 that was released not in this year? And I'll go A Plague Tale Requiem. Who knows? We'll figure that out, I guess, at the end of the year instead. But yeah, both those, from what I've played with A Plague Tale, fantastic game. Have either one of you played it?
I actually almost started the first one yesterday, and then I saw something else I wanted to play instead, and I picked that instead.
Yeah, you should give it a try. Because I feel like I would have an easier time going through this if I had someone I could talk to through it. So If you get around to it, let me know. We can talk about it.
Okay.
One more gaming one, and then if we want to do the other ones, we can. What game are you most looking forward to in 2033? That's what the notes I wrote 2033 in the notes, but you know what I meant, 2023. If you do, Richard said if you do
GTA.
No, I said I got one. GTA 6.
Yeah.
That's my most for 2033.
Yeah. Okay, but for 2023, most anticipated. It don't have to be just one. Just you can name off a couple of them.
I'm gonna say definitely it's Tears of the Kingdom for me. I mean, I'm excited to play Hogwarts Legacy too, but I think Tears of the Kingdom is number one for me.
Richard?
He's
trying really hard. He's trying really hard not to say Zelda.
It's Tears of the Kingdom. You know, I hate Nintendo, but there it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, there's a lot of good stuff, especially right here at the first of the year that's coming out, but you know, nothing's really, and I guess it's just I've been playing that game series since I was 5. So as much as I hated the last one, it's almost like, you know, well, you know, there's always hope. So,
well, all they have to do is just put dungeons in a story that's not told in flashbacks, and that fixes most of your issues, right?
Yeah, I like, you know, I've said this so many times before. I don't have a problem with the innovations and the changes they made. My biggest issue was they got rid of everything else that made Zelda to do it. And I don't understand the logic behind that. I feel like the last game was an experiment, and this is the one that we should have gotten.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what I'm hoping for. It really is.
Obviously mine's Tears of the Kingdom also. Big Zelda fan here. But honorable mentions, obviously Hogwarts Legacy, like Chase already talked about, and Diablo 4, which I didn't realize till about a week ago. If you buy it on Battle.net, like you pre-order it, you can start playing it right now.
Really?
Yes. It's like a beta, but I think your progress carries over to the full game. I've been on the fence about just go ahead and buying it, but I'm waiting for all my friends to make that same commitment too, so I'm not just over leveled before they even get into it. But yeah, that comes out like June 6th, and that's like most exciting thing other than Zelda. Like, I know it comes out around the same time as Final Fantasy 16, and there's definitely one game that's getting played and one game that's not getting played. Right there. Other things to look forward to in 2023, we have new hardware coming out on the PlayStation side. The DualSense Edge controller comes out, I think, on the 10th. So if you're like you want to drop $200 for a controller that has a worse battery life than a DualSense, go for it. February, PSVR 2, so you can pay $1,100 total to play Horizon Call of the Mountain, if that's something that interests you in that front. And not official, but there could be new Nintendo hardware coming out around the time of Zelda. Either going to be a Switch OLED.
Yeah, I was reading an article this morning. They said that they don't predict that's happening, and apparently there was going to be a mid-tier, like a mid-life system, but apparently that did get scrapped. So it's just going to be. I think it's just going to be Nintendo Switch. I don't think there's going to be another console, and if they may have a new console next year is what the
it's like they might announce a new system this year, but it's probably not going to release this year.
Yeah,
is kind of the consensus for it. But yeah, that the Switch OLED thing that's been running around, that is definitely fake. They've confirmed that to be fake. So
the Zelda one,
yeah, which I'm okay with, but also hate because it looks...
I was like, if it came out, I'm gonna say like maybe 2 months before or 3 months before, I could see it kind of being real. But that came out in like December, and I was like, no, that's not real. So
yeah, it was like there was issues with like the art on the box is where they figured out it was fake from. But like the OLED itself, I think it actually looked really good. Other than like the white and gold looked really good on it. The little green thing coming up the left Joy-Con just felt really out of place. And I know it's like part of like Link That's like it's supposed to represent like his new arm or whatever. But like it just felt out of place compared to everything else on the dock or on the system itself. But yeah, and I think as far as new hardware goes, I think that's pretty much it. And unless, well, oh wait, there's another PlayStation one. There's long been this patents and everything else, and I think there's something else about a new hardware revision for the PS5 that has a detachable disk drive from it.
So I think possibly going forward that PS5 will only sell the diskless versions, and if you want the disk drive, then it'll be, separate. And from the reviews that I heard or that I read online, the people that have used this console with the detachable drive, there's no performance issues. It works just fine. So
cool,
which is cool. Yeah.
I wish they had offered that from the beginning, because that would mean that there were only digital PS5s, and I wouldn't have a pregnant PlayStation sitting right there. Because it just looks like it's got a little baby bump. Mm-hmm. And then other stuff. I mean, if we want to talk about more stuff from last year, I guess I did put in the notes if you want to talk about like your favorite shows or movies or anything in there. I know, Chase, you don't watch a lot of TV and movies and stuff, but if Richard has anything, I want to shout out a movie that I didn't think that I was gonna really like, and I did, and that's called Bullet Train. It's Brad Pitt movie, and it was just like over the top funny action movie that I was like, I usually try to go see a movie like once a month, even if it's nothing I like really care for. And I went to go see that. So wow, this was like the best 2.5 hours I've ever spent watching a movie. And worst movie of last year, I don't even have to watch it because fuck James Cameron. Avatar 2, that movie's awful. Don't give him your money. Don't give your money to that pompous asshole.
Yeah, I don't like him either. But plus, I thought Avatar 1 sucked, so I can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I would not go pay money to go see Avatar 2. And it was like, oh yeah, my movie's got to make $2 billion just to break even on the amount of money that I spent to make it, and then like he's only made at 1 billion of that. So
yeah, he's at 1.4 last time I saw.
Okay, I mean he'll probably hit it. People are suckers, and they think that they're going to see The Last Airbender, and they're not. Richard, do you have any favorite movies or anything? TV shows?
Well, being a dad, most of the movies that I watch over the year are like, Turning Red and stuff like that, which, I mean, Disney always makes a good movie despite what it does. I don't know. I guess like I'm just gonna have to throw Disney Plus in there. I think that's a phenomenal. I don't think like I'm a Disney file though. I don't think. But no, I mean, I love Star Wars. I love Marvel. I'm glad to be moving out of this last phase of Marvel because I certainly think it's the weakest. Mm-hmm. Hopefully they'll do something to pick it up. I've heard rumors that there's an Avengers 4 on the way.
Isn't that supposed to be Secret Wars, which is the Kang Dynasty? I think is what
the Kang Dynasty, Avengers 4, the Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, they said going forward they're going to cap off every phase of the MCU with an Avengers film.
I kind of feel like they're going to, I've said that after Infinity War, there was a lot of people that just dropped off because there was so much closure there. Mm-hmm. And you lost your primary characters. You lost Captain America, you lost Iron Man, and let me see, Black Widow. Like almost all your originals were gone at that point. You're gonna have to like make connections again somehow. I think that with Avengers 4, of course, Sam is Captain America now. I think that's good. That's solid. Bring back Winter Soldier. I don't know how well this is going to work. I have not seen Black Panther 2 yet. Have either of you?
Nope.
No. Okay. I know that Riri Williams is in it. I don't know to what capacity she's in it because from me reading comic books, I know that she is a young girl that's going to MIT on the Stark Grant. And eventually she makes a suit very much like Iron Man's suit. she becomes known as Ironheart. But the key thing is she makes an AI of Tony Stark.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Tony had Jarvis. She has Tony in her suit. If they can, I don't care. Disney's got tons of money. Throw whatever money you need to. Get Robert Downey Jr. to voice the AI of her suit. I think that's another tie-in that pulls people. So I want a different phase this next phase. Because the last phase it seemed so scattered. It was, I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't as strong as previous phases.
Well, actually, I think it's Phase 5. I'm trying to remember because I remember watching the announcement thing. I can't remember if it's Phase 6 is when the two Avengers films are back to back, or if they're putting an Avengers film in Phase 5. Because I know it's Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars, and they come out like a year apart from each other, like the Avengers Infinity Saga did. But I can't remember if it's like Phase 5 or Phase 6 that's happening, because this starts like Phase 5 starts with Ant-Man
and Quantumania,
which is like next month.
So this is Phase 5. You have Ant-Man movie, you've got the closure of Guardians of the Galaxy, and then you have the Marvels, then you have another Captain America film, and then you've got the Thunderbolts, and then you have Blade.
Okay. Which I think Blade may have gotten moved because they were having like issues or something with that movie. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out though. Like,
it actually has Secret Invasion.
That's a TV
which
show.
I think is part of Secret. Like, it's the onset of Secret Wars as a Phase 5 television series.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that, you've got a What If Season 2, you've got Secret Invasion, you got Loki Season 2, you got the Ironheart series, Echo, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, and then Daredevil Born Again.
And the only thing we know for Phase 6 is that's where Fantastic Four comes in, and then the two Avengers films.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. And then you have Deadpool 3 and Fantastic Four.
Deadpool 3 featuring Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Featuring everybody. From what I've heard, Deadpool 3 is supposed to tie everything together.
Beautiful.
Somehow.
I wish they would somehow like make a reference to you watched that movie Free Guy?
I haven't seen it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's like a NPC in Grand Theft Auto or something.
Yeah, there's this isn't like a super spoiler or anything, but you know, it's made by Disney, and like there's a part where he gets access to all of these like different weapons from any span of Disney universes, whether it's Marvel, Star Wars, whatever. And he gets Captain America's shield, and then he's like, oh yeah, and like this fight that he's in is being like live streamed on YouTube, and he gets the shield and it plays Captain America's theme, and then it just cuts away to Chris Evans drinking coffee in a coffee shop watching. He goes, what the shit? It's really funny. They should like somehow just tie all that together, like Chris Evans is like somehow a part of it without being Captain America.
It's such a unique character. I would like in Deadpool 3 for Deadpool to talk about like Disney buying the rights back to X-Men and all, because he knows everything. So
it needs to like start up with like some shitty Fox story, and then like someone just comes by and like rips up the script or something, and he falls into like a void and comes out on the Disney side of it. just something stupid like that, because you know that they would do it.
And immediately getting censored with everything he says.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty much everything I've got to talk about for this week. Do you guys have any other best of things, like best games or anything else you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
I don't think so.
Jason, did you keep a running tally of how many hours you spent playing games?
I didn't keep a running tally of the hours, but I did keep some percentages and totals. Like my PS score went up 76 points. It's now 528. I got 65 platinum trophies, 569 gold trophies, 669 silver trophies, and 1,651 bronze trophies. 67 of those games were platinum or 100%. 48% of those games were PS5 games. 38% were PS4. 9% were other, which was like Playdate, PS3, and mobile. 4% were Switch. 76% were physical games, and 24% were digital games. So, yeah, that was my review on that. But yeah, my goal I really didn't have a goal to like play more games than I did last year, but I ended up doing that. So
I don't know if my tally is 100% correct because I didn't obviously keep track of my time played with like Smash or Mario Kart or anything that I normally play. But I was pushing about close to 500 hours in games that I kept track of. Because and it was 250 hours in games that I kept track of, which I mean, not a lot. Let me see if I can find
the PlayStation graphic, but it's probably buried in memes.
The big one, 100 hours into Pokemon Violet, 136 hours into Elden Ring. I didn't keep the time on it, but I played all of Pokemon Shield with all the DLC back to back. I've done 2 playthroughs of Undertale, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I'm trying to think of what the other one was.
Yeah, according to my PlayStation Wrap thing, it said I played 2,267 total hours.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and I posted that on Facebook, like on some of like my groups that I'm in, and they're like, "Dude, that's like working a full-time job." I
don't know why you don't just stream, man. You probably could get people to watch, and you just get paid to play all these games.
Oh, maybe that maybe is my thing this year. So
there you go, Richard. Anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, I don't keep track of that simply because, my consoles are not my own anymore. So my numbers are skewed and they're off and everything. So yeah, I think my most played game on PlayStation 5 was Fortnite. And that's odd because I play my account on the Xbox. So, my numbers are off and stuff like that. If I had to give a guess on what I spent the most time on in 2022, it would have to be Elden Ring. Because that with those playthroughs and getting the platinum, it was because what did you guys say? Y'all were around 120.
It was around like 140, I think, 140. For me.
140. Okay, yeah,
to get like all 3 playthroughs done.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's probably the most time I spent, but I don't know. With sports and practice and being a dad and all that stuff, it's time is infrequent. I would probably say though, in all honesty, again, man, I'm having to swallow the bile from my stomach to say this. I probably spent more time on my Switch this year than any other console, just because of the convenience factor of it being, so portable and just pick up and play.
I'll tell you something that really like low key disappoints me. So Chase brought up like with his like PlayStation Wrapped thing. Nintendo did a PlayStation, or they did a Wrapped thing. I got one from Steam also. But then I got one just for Fortnite, which this is an embarrassing one, honestly. So I've only really, we all kind of got back into Fortnite around like August, or maybe it was like end of July, and everyone kind of just pushed through and played it till about September, November, or October, November. But in 2022 alone, I played Fortnite for 80 hours, which 42 of the, well, I guess half of it was all in the span of like 2 weeks, with the end of this one of the seasons coming up. In 2022 in total, I played 457 games, like round or matches of Fortnite. I only won 46 of those. So I mean, there's 400 losses according to this. It doesn't seem right, but I'll take it. 400 losses amidst 46 victories.
I don't. So, are you talking about like victory royales? Like in the?
It says matches played 457, victories 46.
Wow, I mean, that's a lot more than me. I think just playing solo no build, I think I may have gotten maybe 5. But I don't, I just do it for the quest because that's where the most XP comes from because I'm trying to like pack my battle pass. But I don't know. I'm not going to turn down if given the opportunity.
Yeah. Total eliminations 1,237. Oh well. All right. Let's go ahead and get this puppy wrapped up. You guys have anything you would like to plug before we get out of here?
PlayStation just expanded their holiday digital sale. I think there's over 5,000 items that are on sale right now. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're looking for some deals.
Cool. Richard, anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep details to a bare minimum, but I'll go ahead and just put it out there. I am in development of a game. I am hoping to have it done by 2023. I'm hoping to have something visual to be showcased by summer. Cool. And there will be more details then, but this has been I've been working on the game itself for probably about 4 or 5 months now, not including the time spent taking Unity courses and stuff like that, which I've taken hours and hours and hours of courses on Unity. But that's it. I'm very proud of it so far. I'm proud to see where it's going to be. But yeah, I'm hoping to have something visual and more, more interactive by this summer.
Cool.
But yes, I am developing a game.
That's awesome. Not to take away from Richard's thing, I've come up with an idea for a game. But I've not done anything like Richard's done to actually put pencil to paper and make it come to life. But I have this. I don't think I still have it in front of me. I do still have it in front of me. I'm going to try to pull this out without making too much background noise. I got this book a little while ago. It's called The Essential World Building Blueprint Workbook. And it's a book made to help people who are wanting to develop games, like come up with like the entire like story and world that these games take place in. So I've been going through this and working on my new project. I've probably written up the story for